What's going on, Beaches? Welcome back to another episode of Ask Papa Swolio. Remember, if you want your question featured right here on the show, drop it in the comments down below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio to be featured in an upcoming episode. Are you ready to get started, Tessie? I know you are. Look at you, you sexy beach. All right, let's get into today's question, and this is from Rahul_03 over on Instagram stories. And he asks, in response to a challenge sticker that I posted, I said, what was the biggest challenge that you are facing today? And he responded with this: I am pretty obese, and this was my 9th day of working out, and my knees hurt. So obviously, what do I do? This is my biggest challenge. Well, Rahul, here's what you got to do. Here's the secret. You got to keep going. But because you're pretty obese, that means that you have a lot of load on your joints. Okay. Now that often causes a lot of knee valgus and pressure on your knees, which you have to be careful. So you shouldn't be doing any impact. You shouldn't be doing any fucking jumping, no box jumps, no running. Got to be very careful with treadmill work. Now, not everyone has access to the water or a pool, but those types of suspension types training like aerobics or aqua aerobics can be very helpful, but also something like yoga. Something like yoga can be very beneficial because it teaches you how to move your body through space. Now, this might be a challenge because you do a lot of unilateral stuff. You might do a lot of one leg in front, so you'll have some instability. So you can practice yoga next to a chair or a table or a wall so you feel more confident. But being able to handle your body in space is one of the most important things. And this is just coordination. That's really all it is. It's you learning how to activate all these stabilizer muscles. And that's what most people forget. You get a lot of people that just come into the gym and start lifting weights, but they never activate those stabilizers. They never activate those slow twitch muscle fibers that are responsible for a lot of that joint stability. Rotator cuff muscles inside their hip. They never really create that balance around their hip muscles, the deep external rotators. People have issues with their piriformis all the time. And a lot of these muscle imbalances that can start from the ankles or start at the hips create this pressure around the knees. So when you're obese, it could be from being more sedentary. Your calves and your ankles can get very, very tight. And also your hips get very, very tight. Hip flexors get tight from being sedentary. And also you get a lot of limited rotation in the hip that will lead towards pressure in the knee because of that. You get that knee valgus, your like that knock-kneed look where your knees are kind of bending in towards each other. So doing a lot of glute activation is important, also mobilizing and lengthening those hip flexors. So if your knees are bothering you, it could be because you're doing too much too soon. And of course, with this question, I'm just throwing a lot of shit at the wall because I don't have all the context from just an Instagram story response. You don't have a lot of space. So Rahul, if you are watching, drop more context in the comments down below with what you're doing. Because if you just come into working out of nowhere and it's your 9th day in a row and you're pretty obese, it's very easy to overdo it. And this is one of the major problems where a lot of people come into this issue. So drop a comment again down below if this sounds like you. You get excited, you're fed up with being fucking overweight or looking the way you do, and you feel like shit. And you're like, I'm going to change my life. Now I'm starting. Like today is the first day of the rest of my life. And then you jump in the deep end of the pool and you crush yourself. You go so hard at the beginning, you end up doing too much. You end up getting super fatigued, super sore. Your knees start fucking hurting. And then what happens? You have to take a break, or you have tendinitis and you have some kind of like chronic inflammation that you have to actually break from. And then overall, it actually slows you down. So the whole point with changing your lifestyle and implementing things like we talk about a lot here on the channel with the 7 pillars of Soulnormous, you want to integrate fitness over your entire life. It's not just training. It's not just nutrition. It's community. It's recovery. It's mobility. It's mindfulness. It's consistency. It's all those 7 pillars. That's what is going to lead you towards a lifetime. A lifetime of health, a lifetime of success is building that foundation. So you're not going to get all your results done in 1 week, 9 days. It's so easy to overdo it. And then a lot of people get fed up and they get discouraged because they go hard, they get excited, and then they hit a wall and they get hurt and then they have to recover. And that's not how you build a habit. You build a habit incrementally. You build a habit by doing little at a time, building that discipline so it becomes part of your identity. It becomes who you are. Rahul, you are a person who trains. You're a person who eats properly. You're a person who recovers enough. You're a person who takes care of their body. You're a person that prioritizes their health. You're a fitness person, right? You are a fit person. And what does a fit person do? What does someone that cares about their health do? That's what's important. Not trying to do a sprint, a psychological sprint, not trying to organize your training and nutrition to get to a result quicker. Okay. Doing more isn't always better. And especially when you're not biasing your training, your programming towards recovery. Too many people are worried about, okay, I need to get more results. So what do? You train harder. Yeah, you want to train hard, but you want to train hard relative to your capacity. You don't want to just go in and crush it because you're going to overdo it. You want progressive overload, which means one step at a time. You can't start at step 1 and just jump 10 steps up. You have to do one step at a time, and that's how your body gets time to adapt. Gets time to adapt to those types of stimuli. So Rahul, I am really proud of you. I think you're off to a great start. However, you're going down a dangerous path because if your knees already hurt, remember you're obese. So you already have too much load on your knees. You already have too much pressure on your knees. Adding more from doing, whether it's walking, running, lifting, what you're doing is adding even more strain, and your knees are probably towards their limit already. So I would focus more on low impact exercise. I would do more body awareness training like yoga. That way your body can activate those stabilizers. I would do more things like lateral tube walking, activating your gluteus medius, helping to stabilize your knees. But yoga will help mobilize your hips and also activate some of those underactive and more dormant muscles. It'll work on your balance, your coordination, it'll work on your cardiovascular, it'll work on upper or lower body strength, core strength. And then you can work that in with your other types of training. So again, I don't know what else you're doing, but if you're doing strength training, that's great. You want to do strength training. However, make sure that you are being aware of that recovery period. So just starting out, if you're obese and you're just getting into weightlifting, I don't recommend to any real, anyone that's really trying to make long-lasting change. You want to do maybe like 3 days a week of resistance training. Start off with total body, start off with lower volume, just learn the skills, build that habit, alternate with yoga days, mobility days, and don't look at that as days off, because a day off, you don't get any days off. You shouldn't have any days off. It should be active recovery. It should be yoga. It should be foam rolling. You should be meditating every day. Now, I'm just saying a lot of stuff. I'm not trying to overload you psychologically. Like, oh my God, I have so much things to do. But you get my point. You're doing something every day and you're building those habits incrementally. So Rahul, if you want to learn more, if you want to download the 7 pillars of Swolenormous and get a little more context, links in the description down below for swolenormousx.com. Free download at the top. It'll break down what the 7 pillars are, the benefits of focusing on all these fundamentals in your life. And I think they'll really help you get a little bit more context for how you should be looking at your training. That way you're not just going balls to the wall. And there's nothing wrong with training hard, but if you're training hard because you're inspired right now, that can put you on the fucking couch. That can put you on the sidelines because you're jumping in way too deep when you should be building those habits rather than just crushing from the start. But I do understand what it's like when you're excited, when you're like, you know what, I need to do this right now. It's easy to just do too much because you're trying to set good habits for the rest of your life. This is not something that you're going to get in a month. This is something that you are going to build and hone, and skills that you're going to develop over the rest of your life. And it's important to approach it in the right manner. So thank you so much for asking your question. Remember, everyone else, I hope that provide a lot of value. If you have any other context and other suggestions you want to offer to Rahul, drop a comment down below. But also, if you want your question featured right here on Ask Papa Swolio, drop your question in the comments below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and I'll see you real soon for the next video. Peace out, fam.
We go from humble to flexing, you DM, I'm texting, she hit me right back. I'm on the move, I'm not stressing, the king to these peasants, you know that's a fact. Y'all hate the press, y'all elect him a press for 11, I gave him a stack. I use these words as my weapon, the demon, the session, we killing the pack. We go from humble to flexing, you DM, I'm texting, she hit me right back. I'm on the move, I'm not stressing, the